Luther's Small Catechism with Explanation, the Black and Maroon edition, copyright 2017, from Concordia Publishing House. Seventh Commandment, you shall not steal. What does this mean? We should fear and love God, so that we do not take our neighbor's money or possessions, or get them in any dishonest way, but help him to improve and protect his possessions and income.
Question 79, A through C of the Seventh Commandment. How do we fear and love God in keeping the Seventh Commandment? We fear and love God by not taking God's earthly gifts from our neighbor in such ways as A, stealing our neighbor's possessions and money, 2:27, John 12:6. Judas said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief, and having charge of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. B, being lazy or sloppy when working as employees, 2:28, Ephesians 4:28. Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need. Read 2 Thessalonians 3:6-8. Now we command you, brothers, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you keep away from any brother who is walking in idleness and not in accord with the tradition that you received from us. For you yourselves know how you ought to imitate us, because we were not idle when we were with you, nor did we eat anyone's bread without paying for it. But with toil and labor we worked night and day, that we might not be a burden to any of you. C. Acquiring goods by dishonesty, fraud, or taking advantage of others. 2:29, Psalm 37:21. The wicked borrows, but does not pay back, but the righteous is generous and gives. Read about false measurements in Leviticus 19:36, and about trickery in 2 Kings 5:19-25. Leviticus 19:36. You shall have just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. 2 Kings 5:19-25. He said to him, Go in peace. But when Naaman had gone from him a short distance, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, See, my master has spared this Naaman the Syrian, in not accepting from his hand what he brought. As the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him. So Gehazi followed Naaman, and when Naaman saw someone running after him, he got down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? And he said, All is well. My master has sent me to say, There have just now come to me from the hill country of Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Please give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of clothing. And Naaman said, Be pleased to accept 2 talents. And he urged him and tied up the 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of clothing and laid them on 2 of his servants. And they carried them before Gehazi. And when he came to the hill, he took them from their hand and put them in the house. And he sent the men away, and they departed. He went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, Where have you been, Gehazi? And he said, Your servant went nowhere. What does this mean? In the New Testament, it talks about servants of the Lord, especially pastors, but even this can be applied to Christians, is that we should be above reproach. And this applies to the 7th commandment in stealing and defrauding other people. It's basically talking about stuff and taking things from other people wrongfully. And the real question is that are you doing everything above board? Are you proud of it, or saying, yes, I'm doing the right thing? Or do you feel guilty about something? Do you feel shady about something? Are you not having something out in the open and saying, yes, I'm going to do this, as opposed to hiding it? The Bible lessons talk about Gehazi, who was hiding it. He lied about stuff to get some money and some possessions. Other things, too, as well, of that we might want to defraud our neighbor in a way that might seem right, but it's really not right. We're taking their stuff. And sometimes also this is being lazy, not being a good steward of the time and the talents and the treasures God has given you, that we're just being about ourselves. And this is a hard commandment because we deal a lot with stuff in our world. And so to think about in everything that you do, in your money transactions, in your tithes, in your proportional giving, in your generosity, and all these things, are you being above board? Are you doing things well and honestly? And maybe ask somebody too. If you have a practice, you're like, well, I don't know if this practice is good. Ask somebody that you trust and you care about to see what they think. If they're Christian, that's a good way to get some wisdom from the Lord to say, oh yeah, I am trying to do it well. I'm trying to live well in this world as God has given me, as opposed to defrauding people or stealing stuff from them.
The Lord bless your day as well as your week.